Two functions f and g are defined as f of x equals 1 plus 1 over x for x more than 0. X more than 0, this called the domain of the function. And the g of x is equal x plus 1 over 2 for x more than 0. This called also domain of the function, given that h equals f gx. This called a composite function. How to form h f g? The first part, to get f gx, substitute g in f. This called g. Remove x and write it as g of x. So h is equal to 1 plus 1 over g of x. Now start to remove x and write g of x. So h is equal to 1 plus 1 over g is x plus 1 divided by 2. You can simplify the second fraction, especially this part, by multiplying up and down by 2. So h of x is equal to 1 plus multiplied the numerator by 2 and denominator by 2. So will be 2 divided by x plus 1. And also you can simplify it more by writing it as a single fraction. How? Let's say 1 over 1. So the common denominator is 1 multiplied by x plus 1. So gross will be 1 times x plus 1 plus 1 times 2. Simplify more, h of x is equal to x plus 1 plus 2 divided by x plus 1. Simplified will be x plus 3 divided by x plus 1. This is h of x simplified. He asked to get now inverse of x. Let's start now to get inverse. Started with y is equal x plus 3 divided by x plus 1. We'll start to switch x and y. Y will be x and x will be y plus 3 divided by x will be y. Remove x and write y. Cross multiplication. So x multiplied by y plus 1 is equal to y plus 3. Expand. So when you expand, will be x times y plus x is equal to y plus 3. Collect y in one term, xy minus y is equal to 3 minus x. Get y common, will be x minus 1 is equal to 3 minus x. Then divide, so y is 3 minus x divided by x minus 1. This is the final answer. If we start switch, maybe your answer is like this: x minus 3 divided by 1 minus x. Totally correct if we switch between. So x minus 3 minus x over x minus 1, correct? Or switch, it will be x minus 3 over 1 minus x. It's so correct. Express the inverse of the function in the form of, this is the final answer. Question number 21, show that. When I ask you to show that, maybe we can start from left to right or right to left. It's easily to start with from left to right by expand and simplify. If we have 3 expressions, you can multiply first with second, or first with third, or second with third. First, let's start now with the first and second. Times will be x squared minus x. Then multiplied by x plus 1. x squared times x will be x to the power of 3. Then x squared times 1 will be x squared. Minus x times x will be minus x squared. Minus x times 1 will be minus x. X squared and minus x squared equal to 0. So the final answer, x cubed minus x, correct. In this question, especially, it's easily to start from left to right, from right to left, by using a factorization method. If we start with x cubed minus x, by taking x outside common will be x squared minus x. If you take it x outside, sorry, will be 1. Now, x squared minus 1 is called a difference between two squares, so x minus 1 and x plus 1. Before looking at the part B, if you look at part A, it's x minus 1, and x plus 1. This is called a product of three consecutive numbers. If we start to write x, the next integer will be x plus 1. The previous one will be x minus 1. You will need this point, a product of three consecutive numbers. Now look at part B. Prove that the difference between a whole number and the cube of this number is always a multiple of 6. Look at part A. Part A, if you look at the right-hand side, it's a difference, it's a minus, between a whole number, which is x, and the cube of this number. So if you look at the right side, it's a difference between a whole number and its cube. Is always a multiple of 6. A multiple of 6, if we switch now the order, will be x multiplied by x plus 1, and the previous is x minus 1. This is called the difference between a cube number and the number itself. It's called a product of three consecutive numbers. In general, a product of three consecutive numbers included at least even and the multiple of 3. Let's start to write any three consecutive numbers. 1, 2, 3. Even means divisible with 2. A multiple of 3 means divided by 3. So sure, their product will be 6. So will be a multiple of 6. If we started to write 4, 5, 6, at least one even, at least one a multiple of 3. So their product will be 24. So divisible with 6. If we take 5, 6, and 7, at least even, at least divisible by 3. So also 6 divisible by 3. So how to write your answer in this question? When we write the difference between cube number and the number itself is equal a product of three consecutive numbers. So this means at least one even and one multiples of multiples of 3, and their product is divisible with 6. Clear? At least one even and at least one multiple of 3. So their product, you will get a number divisible with 6. Question number 22. A 3D shape consists of a whole sphere made of metal. Whole sphere. The gram show a cross-section drawn through the center O of the sphere. The internal radius of the sphere is 1.2 and the thickness of the metal of T. So the radius of the outer will be 1.2 plus T. The radius of the outer one will be 1.2 plus T. The thickness of the metal is T, the density of mating, even you know that density is equal to mass over volume. Or you can use a proportion like this, 2,700 kilogram each 1 meter cube. The mass of the 3D shape is, we already have mass, 1980 kilogram. So by using cross multiplication, you can find the volume by using cross multiplication. So the volume of the shape will be 1 times 1980 divided by 2700, or you can use the volume. 1980 divided by 2700. So the answer will be 11 over 15, or we can write it as a decimal. It's 0.733 meter cube. The math of 3D shape is work out the volume, the value of T correct to 2 decimal or 2 significant. The volume of material for any shape is volume of outer minus volume of inner. So the volume of outer is volume of a sphere. The volume of inner is also a volume of a sphere. So we can write it like this, 4 over 3 pi r cubed, this is the volume of the big one, minus 4 over 3 pi r squared is the volume of the lowest one, is equal to our answer, which is 11 over 15. 11 over 50. Now, 4 over 3 pi, the big radius, which is 1.2 plus T, or I keep it now like this, it's r cubed minus 4 over 3 pi, small radius is 1.2, sorry, this is cube, 1.2 cube, is equal to 11 over 15. By calculation, we can find the radius of the big one, which is r cubed is equal to 11 over 15 plus 4 over 3 pi multiplied by 1.2 cube, the whole answer divided by 4 over 3 pi, you can get r cubed. 11 over 15 plus 4 over 3 multiplied by 1.2 to the power of 3. Final answer divided by 4 over 3 divided 4 over 3 times pi. So the final answer is r cubed is equal 1.90307. By taking a cubic root for the answer, so r is equal 1.23922. By subtracting, he asked to get the thickness, which is T, by subtracting minus 0.2. So T is this answer minus 1.2. Minus 1.2. So the thickness is 0.0392229. He asked to round it to significant figure. So corrected to significant figure will be 0.039 because 0 is not significant. So the final answer will be 0.039. Question number 23, work out the sum of multiples of 3 between 1 and 1000. 1 and 1000. The sum of a multiple of 3. Multiple of 3, which will be 3, 6, 9. And from the end will be 999. 1 and 1000 exclusive because he asked to a multiple between. Even 1 and 1000 is not a multiple of 3, but he asked to in between. So the first term now is 3, and the last term is 999. This is called arithmetic sequence. Its first term will be 3, and the common difference will be 6 minus 3, which is 3. And the number of terms will be the last term minus starting divided by difference plus 1. From where we got this formula, you can write the last term, which is nth term, a plus n minus 1 into d, and try to get n subject. You will get it L minus a divided by d plus 1. The last term is 999. The first term is 3. The common difference is 3 plus 1. You will get the number of terms, which is 999 minus 3 divided by 3, then plus 1. You will get your answer 333. N is 333. Now, the summation, or Sn, is equal to n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 times d. The number of terms 333 divided by 2. The first term is 3, so 2 times 3. The number of terms 333 minus 1, all multiplied by difference, which is 3. So the total summation is 333 divided by 2, from bracket 2 times 3, which is 6, plus 333 minus 1, 332, which is times 3. So the final answer will be 1,616,833. This is the total summation. This is the final question. Thank you so much. See you soon. Assalamu alaikum.